Let's go Indy. Let's go Indy with Indy. She always authentic. Listen to this episode, you will be replenished. It's free to subscribe, but you have to pay attention. They tried to count her out, but she beat the statistics. Conversation for the soul, you hear it in your spirit. Her presence always felt, cause by God she was gifted. She feeds you the truth with the recipe of wisdom. Them hard conversations, she just make it sound simple. Get tapped in with the goddess with serenity power. She blossom with the earth, she a perfect lotus flower. Standing on the square, never fold like a coward. Food for your thought, for your mind to devour. Never losing hope when you have God as your master.
And knocked anyway.
Welcome back to another episode of InDeep with Indy. I'm your host, Indy, aka Indy the Goddess. Today's guest is a woman whose story is rooted in resilience, reinvention, and faith. Born and raised in Memphis, shaped by a family legacy of preachers, musicians, entrepreneurs, and strong women, she learned early that life would require both grit and grace. She has navigated heartbreak, motherhood, divorce, loss, career, pivots, and the weight of raising 4 sons while building a life she could be proud of. When the world shut down during COVID, what looked like a setback became the doorway to purpose, leading her to build a business that feeds both bodies and communities. Today, she stands as a mother, entrepreneur, hospitality leader, advocate, and living proof that sometimes the things that disrupt your plans is what reveals your calling. Welcome to Indy with Indy, Meka.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for that incredible introduction. That was like overwhelming and super, super sweet and kind of you to say.
Of course. I am here for it. I'm here for it. I need you to know who you are and be in it. Embrace it.
That's something I'm learning. You know, the older that I get is like, being okay with, being praised or being thanked. Let people show their gratitude.
Of course. Of course. So growing up in a strict religious household, surrounded by strong personalities and powerful influences, who were you before life started shaping you? And what kind of woman were you dreaming to become?
So I probably was like a shy little girl. Definitely grew up in church. I was a praise dancer. I was that person that sang in the choir. I was like very involved, vacation Bible school, church trips. I went to private school all the way through grade school, which was a part of the church that I grew up in. So very, religious family, didn't believe in, going out and doing a lot of things. So my family, my cousins, those were my friends and those were my companions. And that's who I hung out with. So a lot of them, became musicians and drummers and bass players and guitarists and singers and entrepreneurs. So I just always, thrived under creators and creativity and definitely have a love for music and grew up around a lot of people that cooked and, especially in the South, cooking grandmas and things like that. So I was that little kid like hanging in grandma's kitchen, when she was serving it up.
Oh yeah, that was me. Like I was definitely the person that was in church as well. My grandparents raised me, so when you say something about praise dance, I was on the praise team. I was in the choir.
Yes,
I was on the drill team. Listen, at vacation Bible study on every church trip.
Right,
sitting sometimes front row. I even did the church pageant, the church fashion show. I said, listen.
Right. And then when we get older, it's kind of like hard to go back because we were just like saturated with it for so long. It's like, when I get grown, sometimes I'm gonna skip Sunday. I ain't going to church twice on third Sunday. I'm gonna hang out and do what I want to do. But I think you still need like that community. But you find out how to build community in other ways too.
Right. Yeah. Agreed. So your childhood included witnessing both domestic violence and later a healthy marriage through your mother and stepfather. How did those two completely different examples shape the way you viewed love, trust, and relationship?
It made me understand that why everyone deserves forgiveness. I think it's not up to us to judge or weigh, what that looks like and or even how much time that takes. because now, back when I did get married, both of my fathers walked me down the aisle. So there definitely can be, forgiveness after like, big tragic things or when people mistreat each other. And then just understand that you can find your person and your person will come to you. That if you just stay true to who you are and, don't accept things that go against how you feel or go against you being comfortable, you that person is supposed to be for you will come, know. So my parents have been married for like 40 years and they have a beautiful marriage. Like she's super spoiled and he is too. And like my dad now is doing great. He's a total changed man.
Yeah.
He's always treated his kids great. Just maybe wasn't the best in relationships, but but he was like a really, really good dad.
Yeah, I can understand that part, even about the abuse and things like that your mother experienced, and even with the person that she experienced it with, just noticing, like being able to get out of it, and then noticing how great of a father they may be, but how terrible of a man to a woman they are.
Yes.
It's like, oh.
And that doesn't have to be your problem,
right.
And vice versa, if that person just doesn't fit. If someone brings you to, feeling this way of frustration and gets like the negative part out of you, then that's probably someone you should distance yourself with and something that you need to probably seek help about, as to why,
why do you
keep your hands to yourself, what I mean? Right,
what's going
like
on?
I say, he's a changed man, and and people can change, so, and not to make light of domestic violence in any way, because I'm sure there's someone right now being traumatized, and that's something I think about daily. So I am so grateful that I recognize people for who they are, and as an adult growing up, I recognize, okay, this is a person that, I may not want to get closer because they have these type of aggressive tendencies that I see, and not to ignore those red flags,
I love that that past relationship that you had, not the past relationship, your mom and father's relationship, it didn't make you want to or accept violence, domestic violence, or domestic abuse. It actually allowed you to veer away from it and see the signs, because some people, it's just like with sexual abuse, for instance, some people go and become very promiscuous, and then some people are very sacred with themselves. And it's the same with like the abuse. Like some people go and think that that's okay because they've seen it and they're like, oh, this is okay. And then some people are like, oh, red flag, bye.
Right.
So
I'm a red flag, bye.
Yeah. She's like, red flag, bye.
But on the opposite end, I think it does create, a need, of feeling compassion from people.
Right.
And so I could be love bombed. So when I was younger, as a young woman, love bombing was easy to me. What I mean? It was, so I had to deal with men doing that, so it wasn't abuse, but it was, love bombing, like a whole nother facade. And then you get all into this person, and then you don't notice, like, it may not be abusive things that you can't deal with. It may be other characteristics,
Right.
So,
yeah.
So it kind of makes you like, oh, because he's not abusive or because he doesn't talk crazy to me, this is a good person.
Yeah, not necessarily. So the effect from that particular relationship with your mom and your dad, it made you look at people as long as they're not abusive, as long as they're not verbally or physically or mentally or emotionally abusive, then they're okay. But then you got to think about it. Emotional and spiritual abuse is hard to...
It is hard to gauge.
It
you
is.
know, so, they came, I've had a few failed relationships,
Yeah. It's
like that didn't work, but I don't stay stuck on stupid, I definitely, I make my mistakes.
Some people who do.
Right. I make my mistakes, I own up to it, you pray that God helps you to make the best out of it because, children are a blessed thing, you know what I mean? So I think that anytime that you're blessed to have children and bring them into the world, that's a blessed thing. So that there's a purpose there,
Yeah,
So,
I believe that, and then ended up with, and I'm looking at I'm like, how did I give y'all this one?
right.
I
gotta exactly. We have no exes. Like, no, what?
I don't have an ex.
No, at all.
I tell people all the time, I share. I don't have babies, fathers, baby daddy, whatever you want to call it. I share my children with a man.
And there are people in my life that, like I said, I'm 46 years old. There are people I have never seen my kids' dad, don't know their name, know anything about them because that's just how, I like to keep my life,
Please
that's
don't
not,
go looking.
Right.
No point.
There's nothing to find.
There's nothing to find.
Nothing.
So that's me though. I don't even, I say that all the time. Like and it's just because what is in the past is in the past. There is nothing that needs, I don't care if we do have a child.
Right.
I feel like that you are not tied to who I am today. You will not gain that because it's a lot to gain from me. That value that I add, you will not add that value to your name. You are nameless. I have no one. I am Virgin Mary for all you know.
I mean, exactly. And it's nobody's business. Everybody's business is nobody's business.
Exactly.
So that's like how I like to live my life. Not that I would ever be ashamed of my relationships or, people in my life or anything like that. It's just, I think when you hold the people that's close to you sacred and keep them in your safe place, I think that's just always best, and you share them with people that deserve to be, to share them with.
Yeah.
Right.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. Love it. So becoming a mother changes the woman, but raising 4 sons while navigating heartbreak, disappointment, and life's uncertainties is another journey entirely. What parts of yourself did motherhood force you to develop?
Oh, maturity, definitely maturity. I was a spoiled little girl, growing up, definitely daddy's baby, there was nothing I couldn't pout for, ask for, want for, very was self-centered, type, not in like a terrible way,
right?
But just so unaware of the life going on around you and what moves that it takes money,
right?
It takes work and critical thinking and planning out things, and it's just like when you get pregnant, you're like, oh my God, like, okay, I'm developing a life. Everything I eat is going into this kid. Everything I drink is going into this kid. Everything I say and do around this person, they're going to be affected by, because I think about what I was affected by as a child, to an adult. So that just made me so aware and snap into reality, Right. So I just okay, now it's time to really plan, thinking about the future, how long do I want to live? How long do I want my kids to live? And what do I want their life to be like when they get my age and further, when they get to my parents' age, So yeah, I think that's what really, it made some maturity and kind of made me, start thinking about what I wanted for the future, what kind of future I wanted to bring them.
Agreed. I had my first son. I was 18. I was actually 4 months from 19, so I was 18.
Yeah,
listen, I was 18. I was a baby, having a baby, and I was still navigating life and things like that. But having boys. My son's 17.
Yes.
That love.
Oh.
That protection.
Girl.
It's like something different. But you know what really made me get out of the worst relationship I've ever had was having a daughter.
Really?
I was like, I wish I would teach my daughter that this is okay.
You didn't want her to see any of that, yeah.
Oh my God!
But it's really just
and when she started seeing it is because now my my son, I was talking to him. I was like, we have transparent conversations, but this time this conversation got super deep because I needed to understand certain things from him, like how his perspective. I needed to understand him, and I asked him. I was like, in order for me to be the best support in your adult years, I need to know who you are, and I need you to teach me who you are, not me think that I know who you are. I need you to teach me. I need you to let me know who you are, how you like things done, what your boundaries is. Just because I'm your mom don't mean that you like for me to touch you.
You're a person first.
You're a person
You're
first.
human first.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that part, like him telling me everything and what he remembered seeing and why he's so protective of me and why he sometimes have like anger, or how he sits by himself, or how he has certain dreams and things like that. I was like, "Ooh, baby, you need therapy."
Those are tough conversations.
They are.
They are tough conversations because, especially with our sons, they have to understand that having emotion is okay. Talking about your feelings is okay.
It is.
It's okay to express your disappointments.
Yeah.
Being sad, being happy, you don't have to always act like everything is okay. I can take this, and I think that's something I was always aware of with my boys. But I can't say, they'll tell you I'm a tough mom. I was a tough mom. I wasn't, but I would be soft at the same time. You know what I mean? So I guess it was kind of like good cop, bad cop. I had to do both though. You know what I mean? So I couldn't, be soft all the time and be hard all the time.
Right.
You know what I mean? But I did try to make sure that they had, good self-esteem, that they loved themselves, that they understood that their bodies were sacred too, that they're just as smart.
I tell my son that all the time. I'm like, baby, don't you ever forget, like, yes, women, we are sacred. We are
absolutely
all these things. We should be put on a pedestal. Women.
Right.
Keyword. Some people like, I'm sorry. Okay, my bad. I but I tell my son and all my children like how important you are, how sacred you are.
Yeah. Just
because you're a man don't mean you got to go in everything that you meet.
No. And just because you can doesn't mean you should.
Because that's like a lot of times I look at stuff and my son know, and I tell him when I first found out he was doing what he was doing, I was like, do you know, like, you were just happy, but now you got all this stuff going on. I said, do you know how many spirits you done picked up?
Yes.
Because some of these women, they are suicidal and you'll never know it. They insecure, you'll never know it. They are promiscuous because of the abuse that they are still trying to heal from, and what they're doing during that intercourse, because intercourse is something I told my son, it's like you're entering the closest thing to entering a woman's soul that you can do.
It's a blood to blood transaction
through
literally.
her.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm like, you're going into her portal.
Right.
Do you know how much? And then when you both release, do you know everything that you're releasing and what y'all are taking on? That is an energetic exchange. Like you don't do that.
Right.
And honey,
we just don't want to.
I ain't did nothing in
He
6 months.
He said, I ain't went to the portal and it made it sound like going to hell. we do not want to give our boys up, man. But I had to learn that too. Yeah. To like be okay.
I want to give his ass up.
But
he can go where he goes.
Right.
I'm sorry, excuse me.
But they do have to be careful. They most
do.
definitely have to, because like you said, boys don't think about, I can just, no. You
no
definitely
one
have,
about it
just because you can, I mean, you should. And, if you're a handsome young man, I think all my sons are handsome.
I know mine.
And so I always tell them, so nobody's really going to tell you no. And you're intelligent. You got a lot going for yourself. You not in the streets. You are you work. You've been a lot of my kids are college graduates. Like you are, a good catch. Like you're a contributor to the world. You know what I mean? So you can take your time. Like, young people need to take their time. Something that we probably didn't understand to do, So I just try to teach them, like, it's okay to wait things out and really get to know a person.
Right.
And get to know several people, you know what I mean? Have friends, like have friends that are female, have friends that are male, you know, like really find your circle, find your tribe, you know, and then like the person that, you know, once you figure out the type of person you are, then, you know,
You
you'll
can find the person for you. Yep.
Exactly.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. Looking back now, were there moments when you felt you were surviving for everyone else while quietly neglecting yourself?
Oh man, probably. I think anytime, like, you know, when you're at the cusp, like when your kids are like really little, you know, because I had my kids close together. They're like 18 months apart.
Oh, you got the stair steps.
Yeah, you know, like they're like right now they're 26. One's about to turn 25, 22.
Oh,
and the other one is about to turn 20.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, so like
I'm not judging you. It's just, girl, if you knew the age gap of my kids, that's how you knew they were not playing.
Baby, and working 2 jobs. And I think like at one time I didn't have a car, so we were like taking the bus to work. I was putting them on a bus to go to school. They were riding 2 city buses to get to school, and they were going to private school, and they were little, like they were like maybe 10 and 11. You
on
know,
the city bus by themselves?
Yes.
In Memphis?
In Memphis. So I would walk them to the first bus.
Would you?
And then they would, gave them instructions on how to catch the second bus. Like it would let them out like right in front of Burger King. I'd be like, look, you go inside of Burger King until this time, you know, and then you come out at this time and sit right behind the bus driver, and they stuck together. You know, so you don't let go of each other's hands. You know, you hold each other's hands. I had to go to work. You know, you know what I mean? I had to be at work before they had to be at school. And you just did what you had to do. I never used to ask for help if I didn't have to. I've had friends, thank God, that like, you know, will come through. Like, you know, you may have seasons where you may have a friend say, oh, I'll take them for you, or I'll pick them up for you. And they may go for like a few months, but that's not like all the time, you know, or, you know, then you may have, oh, granddad, he can come pick me up, you know. So there were definitely seasons where people pitched in and helped us get through it. But there were seasons where
it didn't.
We had to,
and you know, something,
scoot it and boot it.
Like, honestly, I get where you're coming from, because with my children, because I don't really have people to pick them up or sit with them and stuff, like, they had to walk together to the bus stop. They had to stand on the bus stop. Because they're so far apart. Now I have a high schooler, middle school, and elementary. So they all go to school at different times. So my little girl is the youngest. So I make my middle schooler walk her to the bus stop. Yeah. And then when the bus comes, he'll leave and he'll go back home. And he'll go to sleep for like 30 minutes, and then he had to go back to the bus stop. But it's just it's
making it work.
Yeah, I make it work.
Right, exactly.
Because if something happens, it's like, darn, I can't. I need someone to go get my kid. I can't. I gotta tell my. So I'm glad that I am a manager, because I'm like, yo,
a momager. Yes.
Yeah. I gotta go. I gotta go get my babies, and then, you know, the hard part is being at all these places at one time.
But you make it happen, you know, by God's grace, man.
I ain't gonna lie, I haven't been able to make that happen.
But you are.
Like, God, darn,
but you are.
I missed my baby stuff.
I
I'm
mean,
like,
you can't be at everything.
Myself.
You know,
I be myself.
I can't tell you how many like important like commencements or, you know, things that they were doing that I couldn't make it to, like games. And, you know, I do feel like when I needed to be there, I wasn't. When I couldn't go, I would send a representative. So I tell my mom, like, Mom, can you please go to Darius's like, you know, basketball game this afternoon? Or I tell her dad, like, hey, you know, he's got a big, you know, recital coming up. You know, can you please go to this for me, because I'm not gonna be able to make it, because I've always been in the hotel industry, so and the hotels never close. So you know,
that's funny, because I'm a human resource manager for a hotel.
Oh, so you know, it's always something.
But luckily, I'm a human resource manager for a hotel, because
you get to go home
work on Saturdays and Sundays. I don't work after 3:30. Right. I don't know what to tell y'all.
You get to go home. Yeah, you know, but I've always done events and like, you know, groups, you know, like corporate groups coming in and things like that, or leisure groups, and that's any day of the week. Any time of the year, any holiday, you know. So it took a try for sure, like of, dads, grandparents, uncles, aunts, friends who can help at any given time. So I was fortunate to have some help for sure.
Yeah. I love that. COVID changed the world, but
yes, it did.
For you, it became a turning point when you lost the security of your career and started selling plates a week later. What fear did you have to conquer to bet on yourself?
Man, I was scared people may not like my food or wouldn't order it. Or, this is Memphis. Somebody get one bad taste and it's too salty. It's burnt.
Post it and you finna be out of it.
It's a hair in it. It was chewy. I fretted over every single plate. Every plate had to be inspected. How
long did it take you to sell these plates, Meka?
Girl,
she said every plate had to be inspected.
I probably would sell maybe 20 to 30 plates a day, but I would do it between 11 to 2 p.m.
So was people coming to your house?
They would come through. They would girl, I was my ex at the time, I was using his apartment. I had a house, but used
his apartment. You said, baby, they ain't coming over here.
No, because that's where my kids at. You know what I'm saying? We're going to use your apartment. And I had a little barbecue grill outside of his apartment. And I would grill all my food. See, that was the catcher. People loved my food because I grilled all my meat. And even my mac and cheese, it would be smoked mac and cheese, or it'd be smoked au gratin potatoes, So that's how I caught a lot of people. So when they first tried my food, even if it was a salad, the meat would be off the grill. So when people they grill, they smelling it. You know what I mean? Hitting that corner. It was in the Midtown area of Memphis. People be walking by, putting what you got going on? So that's how I got started out that little one bedroom apartment.
She said,
"Thank you, sir. You know
you
are." Yeah.
She said, "Thank you, sir. You know who you are."
So I started selling plates out of that apartment from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. So I tried to be done before he got off work, clean up everything, and
hold on, did he know that you was doing this?
Not at first, but
girl,
then but then after a while, I think I did tell him. Yeah.
I'm sorry, I just farted. She said.
Not at first.
Because I knew he didn't know when you said I tried to be done before he got off of work and started cleaning up everything. I started after he left and and get finished before he got off work, have everything out nice and neat, grill cooled down. Ever happened.
Yeah. And I got some food for you. Yeah. So a friend of mine in the hotel industry was a Chef Eli, and he reached out to me because I guess somehow he had opportunity to donate hours at this commissary kitchen to an upcoming person that wants to cook, to come into this commissary kitchen to do their food, right? So he donated me I want to say 40 hours, just was
I love that.
And matched me up with Chef Katrina, and
How's it Katina?
Katina Jones is her name. Yeah, Katina,
Okay.
back in Memphis, and she opened her doors, and she has a catering business, Food for Thought. Shout out to them. Shout out to Chef Eli. But they put me on, so they gave me opportunities to come into a commercial kitchen space, showed me how everything worked. I had always been in the hotel business and the catering business, but I was always the person selling it, putting it together, but not actually putting my hands on it. So I didn't know what a commercial stove cooked what a commercial oven, how to operate those things, how to, what shot pans are for, or what these different sizes, all the things. So they taught me everything, how to work commercial dishwasher, all that good stuff. So I started working out of that kitchen and selling my plates out of there. And then I was I don't want to sell plates every day. I want to, bring this down to a minimum, because at that time I started to get recruited back into the hotel business. So I started to do meal prep. And so that's when Meka's Meal Prep was born, maybe about 18 months into me doing selling plates.
Love it. Okay. And I do apologize.
It's
I have
okay.
people coming, so if you see anything, it's because I'm sitting here. Like,
I'm just like a dog, like a squirrel, like anything, like any like sudden movement. I'm just gonna look, right?
Yeah, because I have like so much going on. I'm like, yo, y'all gotta stop. Like,
It's
stop.
all right.
Okay, so I'm back. I was listening though, I promise.
I know.
So I was like, listen. So the funny part about it is when it comes to selling plates and stuff, I think I told you I used to cook, or I still cook now, but not for
gotta
people.
trade some food.
Not for people.
Okay. She's like, correction. And look, my boyfriend now be saying, like, he's like, you love to cook, and I'm like, no, I don't.
Listen, and people loved I started with like these overloaded potatoes. People loved my overloaded potatoes.
Yeah.
They still ask for them to this day.
Oh, wow.
My kid's barber, I can't go there without him
Okay.
being like, so you still ain't got my salmon and shrimp Alfredo potato?
Oh, that sound good.
No, I don't have your
gosh.
Alfredo potato. I don't. Do y'all know how expensive that was? But I started selling those plates as well. The crazy part about it with COVID, my kids was, homeschooled, but I was working from home. So I never lost the job that a lot of people would lose. But so I was fortunate, wasn't making enough money.
Yeah.
Being a mother and doing it by yourself is never enough money.
No, it's not.
Baby, I got 15,000 hustles still to this day. I Uber, I Lyft. I got my podcast is turning into a hustle, actually, guys.
Yes.
No,
yes.
it's not a hustle, it's my purpose, but
you got to put a dollar value on everything. Yes. Absolutely. Yes.
So I do a lot. Let's put it that way. You see me a lot. We met at a content event, so I do a lot. But during that time with COVID, I was Ubering and lifting at the time, and before COVID, Uber was hitting.
Yeah,
it was easy for me to do 20 hours and make $1,500 a week. Easy.
But then now you have more people available to do it.
Piss me off. Yeah, why y'all even doing this? Because now it's harder.
Right.
But I lost
and then where
it.
you going? And then a lot of places were closed, so it's like, where are you going?
Yeah,
to
so
grocery
it was
store?
nothing for me to do.
Right.
So I had to start. I was like, well, I know how to cook. I can cook this, and I started selling plates.
COVID helped people figure out what their talents were.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
And it definitely helped me a lot of things. I started doing plates. I started catering. I only catered like 3-4 events. Never again.
I know. I shy away from catering, honestly. That doesn't mean don't book catering with me. But if I do take your catering, I really care about the event. I really know what I'm doing. You know what I mean? I don't take on, because it's getting like, really acrobatic, smoke screens and towers and swings and
hanging up lamb chops.
I'm like, look, your food's gonna taste great. It's gonna be a beautiful display, but
those are some extravagant displays.
I just ain't got time to make a whole jungle out of it.
And that's what they do.
Yes. I just can't do that.
So I said all of that to say that food cost was too much for me to continue.
Yeah. Oh.
So I wanted to ask you, how do you continue and stay above water?
Okay, so that is a very good question. During COVID, what I used to do was like blindly shop. So I would go to like all my, favorite grocery stores, and I would just, whatever I saw was on sale, that's what I got. So whether it was like fresh produce, whatever, meat, fresh seafood, and I always have been the type of person to shop on the outside aisles and not go down the inside, because that's not where the quality things are, So then I would base my menu on what I found. And I became good at that really just from raising boys. You gonna go in the refrigerator, like I ain't got time to like try to plan this out. Like it's a pack of chicken in here. We got some green beans. We got some potatoes. Okay, it's gonna be green beans, potatoes, and you know what I mean. You was always coming up with meals every day when it came to feeding my boys, remixing things. That was something me and my brother was good at doing, even when we were kids. Like we would go in my mom's refrigerator and put the wildest stuff together, and she would be like, I was gonna use that fish with da 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 da. We done made
Girl, listen.
Some kind of anything, stir fried, made this with the rice with it. Like, you know, we always was like fascinated with putting things together and making things in the kitchen. So I always been real creative with recipes. So that's how, you know, I try to keep my cost effective. And, you know, I shop at the same places, you know, and I make sure like the quality of meat that I'm getting. I look at the price per pound, you know, like, you know, I'm a numbers girl. So, you know, say if Sam's Club got the chicken breast $1.69 a pound, but this week Walmart got it at $1.29 a pound. Okay, Walmart this week you win. You know what I mean? Chicken breast from Walmart this time. You know, Restaurant Depot may have it. Oh, they do a case of chicken breast on sale this week for $50. Boom, that lasts me 2 weeks at least, you know. So, you know, just being like looking ahead of time at the sales, like grandma used to do, looking at the sales papers, looking online and see who's selling, got what on sale, and maybe I go to Aldi and get this week, and maybe I'm going to Kroger and getting this item, and I definitely love like farmers markets and like your foreign grocery stores, you know. Those are like a nice little hidden value there too.
I think people be sleeping on Aldi's. What they don't even know is the reason why Aldi's produce is so good is because I think, if I'm not mistaken, it's one of them. So I'm thinking wholesales, the people who, I said wholesales, Whole Foods. Whole Foods own Aldi.
Yeah.
So that's why the stuff, and it's like, you gonna go to Whole Foods, you might well go to Aldi's.
Yeah.
To be honest, to get like your produce and stuff. Now I shop at Whole Foods. But because you know I'm pescatarian.
Yes.
On the verge of vegetarian. Because listen, some of this fish I just be like, baby, I don't even want it no more.
You know. So, yeah, that's a whole nother story.
It's a whole different story.
Yeah.
But like that's very smart. And at the time also I was delivering food. Baby. Cost of gas and delivery and taking all day, and then people hungry and people like, my lunch is now, and I'm like, I gotta go here.
Yeah.
I said, oh, this ain't for me.
Yeah, that's why I switched to meal prep too. You know, one time, I'm not on a time clock either. You know, you place your order at the beginning of the week, you get it the weekend. I have all week to prepare and get ready for these orders, you know, to shop for them, to get everything in place. 24 hours to make it and have it ready for them on that Sunday for pickup. I send all my deliveries out on the same day, you know. So just kind of creating a system where it's like a once a week thing. Now, it's a hard 48 hours of, you know, getting everything done, but it's better than like every day I gotta have this ready by 2:00. Every day by 2:00. Every day by 2. You know what I mean? Like that's especially when you're a one woman band, you know.
Yeah.
When you have a crew of people to do it, like, yeah, that's great. You know?
That's amazing.
You're right. And I've had times where I've had, you know, people to help me. You know, I've had employees and been very fortunate where I was able to like not have to manage my business for like almost 2 years. And I had a great crew that was working. And then, you know, things fall out. And then you may have to start over and you're back to doing it yourself. And that's okay because nobody's going to work your business like you will, you know. So nobody cares about it like you do,
right?
You know, because it's your baby. So
that is true, and I just feel like that you touched on a lot of points when it does come to the business and the baby and things like that, and just knowing your set pricing and knowing how to maneuver. So with that, you know, Meka's Meals Catering, you know, is. I don't know why I said Meka's Meals Catering.
Well, you know, but I do catering too. I do catering too.
Meals, meal prep.
Yes,
y'all.
But meal prep is my coup de grace, and I can, you know, shout out to Corner to Corner. I was accepted in their academy and graduated with Corner to Corner last year, and it's a business like small business development program.
I think I've heard of it.
Yeah,
have I heard of it? I was about to lie.
Yeah.
Hold on. So, it's something that they allow entrepreneurs to come in and then you can graduate from it or something.
Yeah. So they kind of teach you how to, you know, start your business, maintain it, how to put value to it, how to come up with your pitch when you're selling it to other companies that you may want to, you know, get business loans from or, you know, grants from. They connect you to other entrepreneurs and corporations that could probably use, you know, your business as well. So it was like a really, you know, big eye opener and something that helped me, you know, be a better and developing my business as well was going through that academy.
I love that. Well, yeah, I'll go to corners to corners.
Corner to corner. So it's corner to corner. And they have like a fall cohort and a spring cohort. So they do 2 academies a year. And it's like $135 to go through the program. But
that's amazing.
The value back is like priceless. You know, when I went through that program, my business really took off, you know, because no one knew me here in Nashville, but that place gave me a voice where I could tell people about it and meet people like you, and you know,
amazing,
right?
Because see, I'm one of a kind.
Indeed, you know, okay, unforgettable, might I say?
Thank you.
Yes,
I try. So, food is what you do, but actually helping people is who you are or who you seem to be. So with that being said, at what point did feeding people become bigger than simply preparing meals?
When I started to notice how much of a need it was, you know, grocery stores closing in all of our like low income areas, that was like pissing me off. You know, you already you're already far from bus lines, you know, areas are not walkable, and then the nearest grocery stores, you're closing them, you know.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Or you're charging 10% on top of like, you know, whatever everything costs plus the grocery tax, you know. And things is becoming unaffordable. You know, I would be in my kitchen cooking and I would see like, you know, people come knock on the door that might be, you know, unhoused and like, hey, do you have anything extra that you could give me? And I was like, damn, you know, at the end of the night, I'm throwing away these scraps, or I think I'm calling it scraps, you know, but it could be something I could make another composed meal to give away. So that's what I would start doing. Like at the end of the night, you know, just whatever I had left over, just like making like bowls, you know, out of that. And, you know, if I saw someone out there in need, or I would give it to my son, and him and his wife would go give it out to people, you know. And so but there's just such a small thing. So it's like, you know, such a great need, you know, that people are not, you know, eating healthy. They don't have access to healthy food. You know, they want us to buy junk food with our, you know, with our food and with our food stamps and with our, you know, hard-earned money, because when you go to the grocery store, there's no like real fresh produce in our areas.
Yeah.
You know, when you go to like different suburban areas, they got beautiful loads of fruit, loads of beautiful kale greens, and you know, and even if we did have them, maybe they're not supplying it in our neighborhoods because we don't know how to prepare those items. Like, what can I make delicious out of those vegetables? You know, a lot of things.
To come over here to my academy, I'm gonna teach you.
Right, and so
and you ain't gotta put meat in every darn green vegetable.
You don't.
Or vegetables. Y'all be pissing me out. You got bacon and cabbage. You got
bacon drippings and everything.
Turnip greens. You want to put turkey nuggets. I'm like,
right. You don't have to.
Know that vegetables are vegetables for a reason.
And you don't have to cook them for half an hour, mushing them out, like making them a different color now.
Girl,
you know,
I said, baby, who taught you?
So food preparation is extremely important to me. Like teaching people about food preparation, food safety. You can't leave the spaghetti on the stove all day, reheating it up, letting it cool back down, reheating it up.
Mm-hmm. People don't understand that.
A lot of these diabetic problems we have, high blood pressure, is because of the way we're preparing our food.
And what you putting in your body. Because you ain't got to have chitlins every Thanksgiving.
You ain't got to have 3 meats.
Why in the hell are you even eating pig intestines? Don't get me started with you.
I'm not against chitlins. So
you should
like
be.
Chitlins.
I'm going to tell you everything.
But that's probably something.
You can't even clean out the shit. But that's intestines. You know that it just
But when I clean mine, baby, they look like a see-through sheet. Like mine be.
That is gross.
That might be like a once, you know, twice a year.
Nasty.
I'm from Memphis, baby. We eat everything from the rooter to the tutor. We love the porky pig. We love them.
Do you know that pigs eat humans?
I don't think so.
Yes, they do. You should look it
up.
The mob, literally, the mob feeds the humans
probably
to the
like
pig.
The wild pigs.
No.
To
regular
boars.
pigs is in your little pen. They eat
the little
anything.
pink porky pig.
Listen, yes, they do. They eat anything,
gosh.
including humans. They eat everything outside of the teeth.
Chickens are no better.
Chickens aren't. I don't eat chicken.
Right.
I don't eat chicken. I don't eat pigs. I don't eat beef.
You
I
know,
don't eat
I
lamb.
agree with the pescatarian lifestyle for sure.
You should. I really need to go vegetarian at
you
this
know,
point.
I mean,
it's something
we
that they
really
feed the
aren't
fish.
supposed to consume animal protein.
We're
That's a
not.
whole nother
That's a
story
whole nother
too.
story.
You know, but that is something I've educated myself on as well. Like my
And
parents.
yet you still over here eating the stuff we not going to talk about.
I
Meka.
will sometimes indulge in the bad stuff.
You speak passionately about food poverty, food education, and helping communities navigate food deserts. Why does that mission hit your heart so deeply? Because it's something more to this.
You know, baby, there were times where I didn't know what, me and the boys was going to eat, there wasn't anything to take the pot to put in the pan or from the cabinet to the, but there was always like what they say, like a ram in the bush. I can remember one time I was working at a hotel out in Olive Branch. I was driving the most raggedy car. It was an old Crown Victoria, bumper half on there. Like, my sons were like, home fending for themselves after school, and I had to have something for them to eat when I got home. And a young lady's mom didn't know anything about my situation, gave me a whole case of like just different pantry items, and also gave me like some frozen greens that she had in her freezer and some packs of chicken. And I literally got in my car and cried because like she didn't know. She just was like, hey, do you want this? I know you got some boys at home. I brought this, do you want? And girl, like it fed us for like a week, it was that much stuff. And then she kept bringing us food, so just understanding like, you could just be that one person, that one gesture that like saves somebody's life situation, I felt like desolate, you're working hard, I was driving 25 miles to work because I lived in Midtown Memphis and I worked in Olive Branch, Mississippi, which was like far as hell to drive to in a raggedy car. One day this guy sideswiped me on my way to work and kept going, and I stopped in the middle of the street just like overwhelmed. And this homegirl I used to know just drove by me and said, "Oh, Meka, you okay?" Just kept on going, girl. Like I just realized that like you got to like really lean on the Lord. Like you got to really like
people are
like, you know what I'm saying? Like you got to really
different.
Be strong and like okay, know that God got you.
Right.
You know, because you can't, you may not know where it's gonna come from, where the help is gonna come from, what it's gonna look like, but just know that He's gonna send you help.
Yeah.
And I'm a witness to that where I didn't know how but it went at the time that I needed it, when I needed it, it happened. And so I just want to be that blessing to somebody else.
I love that.
Yeah.
You said this is one of the happiest seasons of your life.
Yeah.
What healed inside of you when you came to Nashville?
Oh, that little girl that wanted like validation, that wanted to know who she was as a person. That little girl that had dreams of, being like a powerful leader, being being a boss,
I know that's right, baby. That's what you are.
I used to be the girl at my Barbie dolls. I used to act like they were in a business office with their business suits on, with the desk, and they had papers everywhere, and they had to. And I'm doing that now, and I'm just like, man, I'm proud of myself.
I love that.
Just seeing that my sons are okay, they're grown and gone, and like I just have my youngest son with me. They're doing great in life, and it's like, okay, I was a good mom. We question that. We don't know. Am I doing a good job? Am I molding this person to be like a good person? And then when you see them develop into that, like now they're in their mid to late 20s, I'm like, dang.
I did that.
They're doing so good, and they're so productive and like an asset to the world and to me. They inspire me, so.
Yeah, I feel you. Like a lot of times that it's important for us all to heal our inner child. That child, whatever age it was that you just lost and forgot exactly who you are.
Yeah.
You got to heal that part of you. So I love that. And people today may see you as confident. They see you as bossy. They see you as successful.
But I say I'm healed.
And that's the part that you want them to see is
yeah.
Like, do you know what I've been through
Man.
to get here?
No,
I'm
seriously,
healed.
like healed.
And people don't understand that too, because, I wish people would understand better, like understand my journey a little bit better, because you may see me, people sometimes, and I'm not going to say all people, it's a small majority of people.
Yeah.
They may see me as cocky, but I'm just super confident. They may see me as thinking that I am better than people, and I don't think that. But trust me, people have said that. It's people who don't like me because they think that I feel like I'm better than people, and I don't.
You shouldn't have to water yourself down for
I'm
anyone.
Not.
And
I
people
used to.
Yeah, and people shouldn't expect you to. If they really, that's an insecurity of their own.
Exactly.
If you want other people to water themselves down to make you feel better, there's something that you need to fix.
And you don't understand how many people do that, but it's like, you see all of this, but I need you to understand what it took for me to get here.
Yeah.
And people see all of that, but what do you want them to understand?
Man, that, I love the Lord, that God got me through it. I can't give accolades to anything else, God, put me here, my parents, taught me to really understand where our help comes from and what this is all about. And, if you just like find your higher being that you respect, whatever that looks like, because I don't feel like any religion is wrong, because I think that everybody has like the same idea. They do feel like things,
I'm glad you said that.
Yeah, but
there's some people who don't understand.
Yeah, absolutely.
That, and I don't like it.
No,
because I'm spiritual. If anyone don't know, I used to be scared to tell people that because people are so judgmental. But I'm like, do you not even understand? I still submit to the will of God.
Absolutely. And at the end of the day,
I'm just not tied to one specific group of people.
No,
and
I respect all religions because they all sacrifice something. They all believe in this higher power. They all believe in good, bad, taking care of each other, family, love, passion. So all those key characteristics are in all of them.
It is.
In all of them.
It is, and everyone has to understand. I think one of the most hated religions right now, and I hate to say this, and I don't want to get whatever y'all call it. They black you out or something.
Right.
Girl, I don't care.
We won't even say it. Yeah. You're right.
So I feel like it's Muslims. And people don't understand that Muslim just means to submit to the will of God.
And they are the most humble people.
And they are the most
humble,
the
most giving people.
Giving and welcoming people that you would ever meet.
That is a beautiful community of people.
It is. And
welcoming.
Welcoming.
And they will teach you.
All.
Yeah. And if you have questions for them, they will answer it. Like if you want to know more about it and understand, sit down.
Let's talk.
And they won't even get angry. It's no arguing. And so that's something we can't do. We can't talk about it without arguing, accusing, belittling.
I'm not going to say, my grandparents, the majority of my family is Christian. My daddy, my grandparents, my mom, everybody. And it's like, if I try to have a conversation with them about anything outside of Christianity, everybody's going to hell. I'm like, how do you just say you I'll be like, what's hell?
Right.
I just want y'all to tell me.
Right.
I just have that one question.
Because you can have that right here, right now.
Right now. I'm like, so what is it?
Yeah.
I said, because I'm trying to understand this. I'm just trying.
Yeah.
Because I thought God was a forgiving God.
Yes.
So does that mean that everybody just go to hell for not following your stuff?
No.
That's crazy.
Exactly.
So I try not to get on religion or nothing, but that's one of the biggest things. Y'all don't have to, y'all don't gotta hate people and tell everybody they're going somewhere.
Yeah, and I think that's what I want people to understand about me is that I'm an open book. You know, I love everybody, every community. I'm a respectful person. Yeah, especially being in the industry that I've been in for so long. I've met so many different type of people from all kind of backgrounds, all type of, financial levels, from CEOs to, startups to just that person who wants to throw their birthday party for their granddaughter. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I'm a respectful person, not a respect of your stature, you know,
Right.
or like, you know, your title, you know. So, and I like to treat people like how I want to be treated. And, you know, if you're somebody in my care, you're going to get spoiled. And, you know, if I get to feed you, it's going to be the best meal you had. If I get to hug you, it's going to be the best hug you had. You know, I just want people to know that that's the type of person I am.
I love that. I love it. I love it. So before I get into my spirit fire round, I do have someone who is now sponsoring me.
Ooh.
All right. So this is And Pour Perfections. And so if you need a bartender for your next event, And Pour Perfections delivers signature cocktails, mixology classes, and unforgettable experiences, birthdays, weddings, showers, and more. You can follow at And Pour Perfections. Or Pourfections. I don't know why I keep on saying Pour Perfections. But Pourfections. So that is POURFECTION. And then you can also book your moment through there. So she is on Instagram, and her drinks are amazing. My next episode, I'm going to tell y'all what this drink is, because she gave me a few of them. Even this one, too. I think this one is the one that I liked at the event. So you know the Mystic.
Yeah.
So she changed her name is because Ann was her mom's middle name, and she passed away in February. So she decided to do Ann.
Oh, her drinks were good, too.
Yes, they were.
So they were very delicious.
It. Yes.
Yes.
So it's time for the spirit fire round.
Okay.
You ready?
I'm ready.
You got 5 seconds to answer these questions.
Okay.
Don't think too hard. What did little Tameka need most?
Oh, hugs.
What has motherhood taught you about yourself?
I am stronger than I thought.
What are you still healing from?
Oh, broken relationships.
What does forgiveness feels like?
Freedom.
What does peace look like?
Freedom.
What did loss teach you?
Oh.
10
Hope.
seconds.
You know, I could say loss taught me hope. Yeah.
Okay. What are you learning to let go of?
People.
Who are you becoming?
A woman.
I love that. Finish this sentence. The woman I fought to become is.
Great.
I love that. Well, I want you to go ahead, Meka, and tell everyone how to find you.
So you can find me at Meka's Meals on Instagram or on Facebook. So that's M as in Mary, EKA''S Meals. And my website is www.mekasmeals.com. Check me out.
Awesome. And I want to thank you so much for coming on to my podcast today. I know it was your first one.
Yes.
You know, I got a lot of people like that, and I love to bring people on that I feel like has a voice and needs to be heard.
I appreciate it.
So I thank you so much for coming on. Thank you for actually saying something to me about it. And we like, yes,
I loved
because
it.
a closed mouth don't get fed.
And you got to get on the other side so someone can interview you.
I've been, people don't know how to interview me, so we're going to leave that there. Thanks. So yes, continue watching every week InDeep with Indy. I thank y'all so much for watching. I hope y'all got something from this episode just like I did. Y'all make sure you like, share, follow, subscribe, comment, engage, and make sure that you come to my Instagram, because some of y'all don't even like watching the full video. So catch these clips. InDeep with Indy. Peace, love, and light.